What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. It's another Monday ramble here, and just had Father's Day weekend here. I hope everybody who's a father had a happy Father's Day. It was fun. It was awesome. Always great to spend time with the family, do cool stuff like play video games and stuff like that together. Well, typically it's together, right? But I guess the day just made it a little more special. Especially when you just get told, Happy Father's Day from your kids, right? And they show sometimes maybe a little bit more appreciation than usual, just because it's a certain day, stuff like that. So Happy Father's Day to everybody. Got to hang out with George. We left our Pikachu over there, but that's what happens when you're a kid and you're playing and you're just throwing stuff around and having fun, a grand old time. You forget things, right? Very forgetful. And, that doesn't change when you get older. As you get older, you always forget these basic things that, sometimes that there are people that appreciate you, right? I've seen a lot of things on Facebook from people, particularly other fathers, and they were talking about how nobody cares unless you care, and things like that, right? And that may be true. I say that a lot. Like nobody's gonna care for your health as much as you, right? To an extent. So if you surround yourself with good people, it's good. It could be a little bit different. They'll care, but they can never do it for you. There's gonna always be people that care for you. Good people, good solid people, but they just simply can't do it for you, right? They can't do it all for you. You got to figure some stuff out and continue to grind that way. But there are always somebody that cares, right? Your kids and stuff like that. There was another gentleman who was talking about how his kids didn't call him. His kids got older, and you put it on Facebook, right? And you're like, to me, it's like, well, you're the father. If you wanted to talk to them, you could also call them, right? You have a choice in doing so. And, if you wanted to talk to them so bad, you don't have to wait for them to call. And if they don't, don't feel sad. Maybe they're busy. Maybe they have kids too. Maybe they just forgot. Maybe they're at a powwow or something, or some kind of shindig, and it's easy for them to forget. Sometimes we forget to appreciate a lot of people closest to us, right? And sometimes you don't, right? Sometimes you just you're in that mode, like this gentleman, right, where you want them to call you. You long for them to call you because you love them so much, or whatever the case is. Pick up the phone, call them. If it means that much to you, and be like, hey, hey son, whatever. Just wanted to give you a call, see how you're doing. Hope you and grandkids are doing good or something like that. And if they don't, no kids, whatever. Maybe, oh, hey dad, I forgot to give you a call. Happy Father's Day or something. Stuff like that. But I'm not gonna say don't air it out on Facebook. You do whatever you want. If you're an adult, do it. Whatever. Nobody's stopping you, and nobody's gonna stop you from that. Just like nobody's gonna stop you from progress, right? If you're working your damnedest to work harder and try to reach higher steps, they'll support you. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they have this thing where they believe like, oh, everybody, like, they want to see you succeed, but just not succeed more than you, And it's not always the case, Not everybody thinks that way. Just people that don't really care about other individuals, right? If they want to see people succeed, but not more than they, those aren't really people you want to be associated with anyways, right? True, we need friends and stuff like that, but if your friends don't want to see you succeed and move higher in their lives, or make a little bit more bread or whatever, money, then I don't know if they're really friends at all, right? Because your real friends are going to be like, hey, man, congrats, whatever. And then they're not going to prey on your downfall. They're not. They simply won't. They're going to be happy for you, right? Because they're out there grinding too. They want to see all their friends and family succeed. But they also know that it takes hard work, and they're not going to do it for you. They can't do it for you because they're working towards these things for their own family, for their own well-beings and stuff like that. And, they can try to motivate you. They could say some good words. They can give you some advice, stuff like that. But when it comes down to doing it and executing, that's going to come down to you. That's going to come down to you and you alone, right? Your son isn't going to be there. Your significant other or whoever you have in your life, right, is not. They're not going to be able to be there for you to take those steps. That battle comes from within, and it's as simple as that. It's also as challenging as that, and it just I know I get sick of saying it sometimes, but it comes down to you ultimately. It always does, and just because a day is a special day to you doesn't mean it's not forgotten about. Doesn't mean that people don't care. It's just they're doing stuff, right? They're doing things as well. And if it's something that you really feel passionate about, like hearing the voice of a loved one or something, make that call. Life is too short to, sit there and dwell on it. Sit there and regret. One day you might regret that. Oh, man, I wish I would have talked to my son just that one time, that one day, instead of feeling down about it, instead of feeling whatever way about it, push past your ego and just make the call. You know what I mean? If you're dwelling on it, just do it. Sometimes I say that when other people can't do it correctly, you got to do it yourself, right? You got to do it yourself. You don't like the way the person cuts your grass, go cut your grass yourself. Nobody's going to cut it the way that you're going to cut it. Nobody's going to fix your car the way you want it to be fixed. Although I'd probably recommend a mechanic, unless if your area, they fuck shit up, because, it happens. And also, sometimes it's hard to diagnose vehicle problems, right? It could be something else that may have been okay from that fix, that down the line fix. Because sometimes you got to fix certain things to reach the point to actually fixing it. And with the advancement of certain, with all the technology and stuff like that, it's easier to diagnose those things as opposed to older cars, right? You had to almost have the tribal knowledge. Your daddy better knew something about vehicles so he could tell you what was wrong with your car, and you better have listened so that way when it happens again, you have that knowledge, right? You have that know-how. Now we're a little bit more blessed with YouTube videos and tutorials on how to do certain shit, but also those aren't perfect neither. There's some problems that I've come across I can't find on the internet, right? You either got to figure it out or ask around. You know what I mean? If you have any friends that are like mechanics or somebody that works on cars, pick their brains a little bit. Be like, I'm running across this certain problem. Obviously you probably got to be at a stage in your relationship where you're friendship, relationship, whatever, where you're able to talk about those things and that they'll freely help you out with any kind of advice, or maybe they'll help you. But when it comes to those things where you're not paying somebody, don't expect them to do it for you. You got to figure it out. You got to learn how to do those things, right? I've been lucky through my years of life that, my dad would always help me do it. But at the end of the day, it came down to me learning how to do it too. So, and, not everybody's fortunate enough to do that. Not everybody learns. Not everybody takes the time to appreciate those that come and help them, right? And things like that. So, I mean, like, I have my family, and a lot of them, they don't know too much about cars, you know? Neither do I. I don't know much about them, but I know when a problem happens that I got to fix it, right? And things like that. And you got to it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes looking into to get these things done, right? And, you know, it's never going to be easy. And, nor shall it, right? When you have a responsibility like that, there's a reason why people have specific jobs or go to school for those things, right? For those specific jobs. Now, I know not everybody goes to school for it or whatever to be a mechanic, but I mean, it's a damn hard job. I wasn't the best at it at first. I took like auto maintenance, auto mechanics in high school. So, but that doesn't make me somebody that knows a lot. I don't know that much, right? Because for one, I don't do it every day. Two, it was a high school class. It wasn't like I went to college for it or something where they're more in depth. It was more basic stuff, basic oil changes, did tune-ups, you know, stuff like that. Rotate tires, you know. So it went through some of that, but it didn't go through years and years of it. You took a semester of it or something, or you know, it's not high school level isn't going to be the same. So if you choose to continue that onwards into the college level to get a certificate or a degree, you know, that's awesome. But it's going to take a little bit more and more studying and stuff like that. So unless if you're some kind of car genius, which, you know, I'm not a mechanical genius, not by any sense. But I do ask a lot of questions, and when problems arise, I am motivated to fix them. So, you know, that's all there is to that. But anyways, we got way too far off track. But anyways, if you're like, my big thing here is always talking about like those kind of psychological barriers, those kind of things that kind of hold us back, right? I'm not a mentor. I'm not any of that type of stuff where these guys are trying to sell you some kind of class or anything like that. So buy my program, you know what I mean? I don't have any programs or anything like that. It's just a random guy rambling on the YouTube talking about these things. And I'm probably never going to have an answer to anything, but I do know one thing is that you got to stay positive. You got to stay positive, and you got to keep your eyes and ears open, and also your mind. Your mind's the biggest thing. And I know a lot of people like poop on Joe Rogan, but especially like women for some weird reason. But it's like he helps show people to have an open mind, even though it's hypocritical at times. I'm not pooping on Joe Rogan. I love that dude's podcast a lot. Not that matters, but you know, because he has millions and millions of followers and people that watch in and tune in and stuff like that, and it's easy to understand why. And you know, as a person that's I consider myself pretty open-minded about almost anything, right? And I love to see that, and I love to see that you should have that, but I also think that they should be, you know, doing it too, because when it comes to like things like Donald Trump, he's like, oh, I don't want to give him a platform to humanize him or whatever, and I was like, that kind of goes against everything you say about it. So, but at the same time, I enjoy the show, and I just, you know, it ain't like my opinion matters that much or at all to him, you know, because that's his choices. Those are the things he chooses to do. And if it goes against his own beliefs, he's the one that decides what to do, right? He's the one that decides whether or not to do those things or to go through with them, whatever, you know. I ain't going to say he ain't going to have no Republicans on, because he has people that are Republican on. He has people that are Democrats, you know, stuff like that. I don't particularly pick a side, but when I first started listening to him, I thought I was a Democrat. But as I come along, I don't believe in either side. I believe in, you know, when we were growing up, we were always taught to never discuss politics, right? Because there's almost always guaranteed going to be a fight. There's always going to be somebody that differs, and things go wrong, and it's sad. It sucks. Even families can get split up from political viewpoints, and I think it's disgusting. But it happens. It doesn't relegate the fact that it's actually happening to people. So, but I'm pretty vocal about it, and it just, the worst I got was your boy Trump, whatever, and I'm not a big Trump fan. I'm not a Biden fan whatsoever neither. So, but they seem to want to rub any of those things in my face, and I'm like, I don't really care. It's like there's certain politicians that I agree to an extent, right? I don't agree with all they say, and they come from both sides, Republican, Democrat. But what they do to each other is kind of ridiculous. But even at the end of the day, they're mostly friends, right? They seem to appear to be. Behind the scenes, it might be different. I'm not a part of that spectrum, part of that world, or anything like that. So I'm an outsider looking in, right? You only see what they choose to show you to see, what they want you to see, and things like that. So that's why podcasts are so awesome, because they give you a little bit more insight of what they think, of how they feel, and things like that. And that's why I like that. The Joe Rogan, when he brings people on and you don't really know what they're about and things like that. So, but it should keep you mindful as well that even though you look up to certain people, that they're not perfect also, and things like that. So enjoy your time with your family while whatever time you have on this earth, You never know when it will get taken away from you, when life is cut short and things like that. Maybe you live a ripe old age, but statistically, not going to happen for all of us, right? Not for all of us. Car accidents, household accidents, all that stuff. So I hope you guys have a great one. Hope you guys tune in again. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. Until next time, guys. Peace out.